What if I told you that owning a V8 gas guzzler in a net zero world wasn't just possible, but could actually be part of the solution? We all know that net zero is coming, but the way that it's being approached could be creating more resistance and support. Some people are building technologies that will get us there, and stick around to find out more.
What is worth more? Art or life? Is it worth more than food? Worth more than justice?
Firstly, from a social perspective, history shows that prohibition and abstinence and the wagging finger of restriction simply don't work. When people feel like something they love is being taken away, they resist. Not just a little, but they actively push back, and that's human nature. So if we're serious about getting to net zero, we need solutions that can work with people, not against them. Now, I'm a huge petrol head. I love cars, I love big loud engines. I even worked with Aston Martin on the Valkyrie, a machine that's built, in my opinion, to be an absolute engineering masterpiece. Car culture isn't just a hobby, it's an identity across the world. It's just as deeply ingrained as the sports teams we support, the communities we belong to, or any of the traditions that we cherish. So when someone says, you can never drive a loud, shouty V8 again, it doesn't feel like progress. It feels like an attack. And that reaction creates opposition, not solutions. So how do we fix that? How do we reach net zero without alienating the very people that we need on board? Here's where we need to separate two things. On one hand, vehicles for transportation, and the other, those cars of passion. For daily transport, getting to work, running errands, EVs make perfect sense. It's where we should focus the transition, and where we already are and will inexorably end up. Don't get me wrong, some EVs are mighty cool too, but for the much smaller group of people who live and breathe petrol and gas cars, we need an alternative. And the good news is, we already have one. So let's talk about an exciting innovation, Zero Petroleum. This company is capturing carbon directly from our atmosphere, combining it with water and generating real petrol or gas. And here's the key. Yes, burning this fuel does release carbon, but because it is made using the exact same amount of CO2 pulled out of the atmosphere that it emits, it's net zero. In some ways, it mimics nature's natural carbon cycle. That means that we get all the things we love about combustion engines without adding any new emissions to the atmosphere. It's a way to keep car culture alive without harming the planet. And that's a win for everyone. Now, let's address the big question, cost and benefits. Right now, these synthetic fuels, as they're known, are much more expensive than regular fossil fuels. And that's completely expected. They're still in the early stages of development, but we've seen this story before. Look at solar panels or electric cars. Both started off incredibly expensive, and as adoption increases, prices plummeted. And the same should happen with synthetic fuels as well. The reason synthetic fuels are costly today comes down to three main factors. Production scale. Facilities are small and costly to operate at the moment, but mass production and the economies of scale will change this. Energy use. Synthetic gasoline requires a lot of energy in both the carbon capture and the splitting of water. However, those serious about this solution are only using renewable sources of energy. And technology maturity. Processes we use, like the Fischer-Tropsch synthesis, are well known, but need further refinement for extra efficiency. However, the benefits are sort of undeniable. Net zero carbon emissions. Unlike fossil fuels, synthetic gasoline doesn't introduce any new carbon into the atmosphere. It's fully compatible with existing infrastructure. Unlike EVs, which require new grid additions or new chargers, synthetic fuels literally work in the current pipelines, the current pumps, and all of our engines already. And finally, energy density. Unlike batteries, synthetic fuels provide high energy per unit, be that volume or mass, making them ideal for motorsports, aviation, and heavy-duty transport. Now, scaling up requires investment, and we only get that by people being brave enough to adopt these technologies early. By doing so, they help drive down the cost for everyone in the long run. This is why car enthusiasts, motorsports, and early adopters play a crucial role in bringing these fuels to mass affordability. The more we invest, the sooner they become viable alternatives. How does this actually work? Let's break it down step by step. The process starts with direct air capture, or DAC, which pulls CO2 directly from the atmosphere. This is done using a high temperature and surface area sorbent that chemically binds with CO2 before it can be released in a controlled manner, in this case in the form of carbon monoxide. Next, we need hydrogen, or H2. This comes from electrolysis, where the water is split into hydrogen and oxygen component parts using electricity. Remember the key here, if that electricity is from renewable resources, like wind or solar, then the whole process can remain carbon neutral. Now comes the Fischer-Tropsch synthesis, where the captured carbon, now in the form of carbon monoxide, and the hydrogen are combined under controlled temperatures and pressures with metal catalysts to create hydrocarbons. These hydrocarbons can then be refined into synthetic gasoline, diesel, or even jet fuel, all with a net zero carbon footprint. The final step is refining and distribution, where the synthetic fuel is processed to match the specifications of the traditional fuels. This means it can go straight into existing infrastructure, pipelines and fuel stations, even the engines we love, without any modification. And here's the best part. Unlike traditional biofuels, synthetic fuels don't require a massive amount of farmland or food crops or deforestation. They are engineered fuels designed to be clean and scalable and sustainable for the long haul. Now, this isn't just theoretical. Companies like Zero Petroleum, Repsol, and Porsche are already investing in large-scale production facilities. And as cost comes down with mass adoption, synthetic fuels could become an affordable and accessible alternative for car enthusiasts. So this isn't theoretical, it's real and it's already being developed. The challenge is scaling it up. This is where that early investment matters. Just like EVs needed pioneers, synthetic fuels need first movers to bring down prices and make this technology mainstream. And that's where the early adopters, people who are willing to invest in these solutions, are absolutely key. Now, picture this. It's race day at the drag strip. The air is electric, engines rumble, and the smell of high-octane fuel lingers in the breeze. Crowds line up along the track, watching as a classic V8 muscle car pulls up to the lights, revving like a battle cry. The lights drop and the car launches forward, tires screeching, roaring down the strip. But this isn't just any race. This is the future, because that car is running on net zero fuel. That driver isn't just chasing speed, he's fighting for the longevity of the sport that he loves. This is what's possible. The same adrenaline, the same passion, but now we're doing it responsibly. Car culture doesn't have to die. We can evolve. We can have our passion and our machines and our future all at once. But for the future to become a reality, we need action. We need people, governments and businesses and individuals to step up. Firstly, legislators and governments need to see this for the opportunity that it actually is. It takes the brave pill of casting away lobbying from oil companies, but if you look at where I live in the Middle East, the opportunity for technologies like this is huge. Synthetic fuels could leverage existing infrastructure whilst playing a key role in transitioning entire economies towards a more sustainable future. Sure, the market will probably never be as big as the current fossil fuel one, but that just makes ensuring that you have first mover advantage even more important. Secondly, we need to be talking about these solutions and normalizing them with our communities. Right now, most people don't even know that synthetic fuels exist, and the more we discuss and share and educate, the more momentum we build. If you're wondering about how you can personally contribute to the development of these technologies, check out my video on how I can contribute. I'll link that up here somewhere once I've actually made it. And in the meantime, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Should we prioritize hydrogen or e-fuels or another solution entirely? If you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe, and let's keep the conversation going. I'll do my best to respond to your thoughts below.